Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I'm going to read essay 6030, Francine, Believe It or Not. Chapter 1. Over here, Francine. Arthur was calling for a pass in the middle of a street hockey game. He and Francine were on the team with Muffy, Buster, Sue Ellen, and the Brain. The other team, led by Binky, included Molly, Kiefer, Mona, Speedy, and Rattles. Francine didn't seem to hear Arthur's call. She faked Molly to the left, took 2 long strides, fired at the goal. Rattles was the opposite goalie. He tried to block the puck and missed. Score, cried Francine. Binky controlled the face-off, brought the puck back into play. He skated past Buster, but Francine poke-checked the puck between his legs. Buster raced down the sideline. "I'm free, Francine, I'm free," he shouted, but Francine paid no attention. Instead of making the long open pass to Buster, he swept around Kiefer, came in hard on Rattle, firing another shot. This one bounced off the post. The puck ricocheted back to Arthur. He steadied it, getting ready to move. Then Francine stole it away. She moved in quickly and scored. "Hey, I'm on your team. You're taking too long," she told him. "Do you want to win or not? I mean, look, we're doing great. Now the score is tied, 3-3. "Who's we?" said Muffy. "Nobody but you gets to do anything." Francine shrugged. As far as you're concerned, there was nothing wrong with that. During a timeout, the team huddled to discuss strategy. "Don't you think we could show a little more teamwork?" asked the Brain. "I agree," said Francine. "You do?" "Absolutely. You guys are not getting me the puck fast enough." "I don't think that's what the Brain meant," said Arthur. "Hey, Binky. Binky's team is tough," Francine reminded them. "I'll gladly give you the puck if everybody wants to lose." Arthur and the others looked shocked. "Francine, Fransky, I think you are the rudest person I've ever met," Francine shrugged. "I guess the truth hurts." Muffy looked ready to explode. Everyone got back into the position for the face-off. A little later, Muffy got a pass right near the goal. "Shoot, shoot," cried Arthur. "No," said Francine. "Pass it to me." Muffy hesitated. She looked down at the puck, and then up at Francine. Shaking her head, she swung back a stick to shoot, and Molly stole the puck. She pivoted around and took 3 long strides toward the opposite goal. Then she slapped the shot into the net just as the whistle blew. "Score," said Binky. "We win, 4-3. Francine threw her stick down on the ground. "I can't believe it. We were so close." She turned to Arthur. "I hope you're happy, Mr. Fairness." "Me? What did I do?" Francine snorted. "You told Muffy to shoot. You know what a bad shot she is." Muffy turned away sharply, but no one could see her face. Then she slowly skated away. "We're just lucky there is another playoff game next week." She looked around. Where did Muffy go? "I think she had heard enough." "She had heard enough," said Arthur. "So have you," said Bart. The rest of the team walked away, leaving Francine standing alone. Chapter 2. When Francine took a moment to think about it, she decided that something was bothering her friends. Muffy had seemed more than a little upset, and everyone else had been a bit grumpy too. "I know it bothers them that we lost," she thought, "but they have to stay tough. They need to be more like me." Still, Muffy was her best friend. Francine didn't want her to suffer in silence, so she got on her bike, raced after Muffy. "Wait up," Francine called out. Muffy was walking along at a fast clip. She didn't slow down at the sound of Francine's voice. "Didn't you hear me?" Coming up beside her, Muffy kept on walking. "Yes, I heard you," she said, "but you didn't stop." "Why should I?" asked Muffy without slowing down a bit. "I can imagine what you're going to say. I'm sure there's something wrong with the way I walk. Too big a stride or too little? Maybe my walking is too hopeless for improvement. But if you think it'd be better if I stop walking altogether and let you do my walking for me." Francine braked to a stop. You can't fool me, Muffy. You're mad about something. Muffy stopped too. She stared hard at Francine. Mad? Why should I be mad? Oh yes, now I remember. You said I cost us the game. Well, didn't you? Muffy walked up to Francine, nose to nose. Whether I did or I didn't, that's no way to talk. We're supposed to be a team, remember? Honestly, Francine, sometimes you're like a non-stop insult machine. What? How can you say that? I'm one of the nicest people in the whole school. You think so? Muffy snapped. Then prove it. I'll bet you this Princess Peach word. Peach, watch that. You're wrong. Muffy held out her arm. This is the deluxe model, of course, with the combination stopwatch and odometer. Francine sighed. I've wanted one of those watches from the first moment I saw them advertised on TV. True. And since they are so expensive, this is the best chance to own one. What's the bet then? Francine asked. Muffy folded her arms. Simple. I bet you can't be nice for one entire week. Be nice? Francine started to laugh. That's a sucker bet. I could do that in my sleep. I'm sure you could. But this is harder because you have to do it while you're awake. Oh, and one other thing. Here comes a small pain. Not really. It's just that you can't tell anyone. If you did, they might try to help you. Francine waved her arm. That's no big deal. I'm so nice anyway. They won't even notice the difference. We'll see. We'll see. Chapter 3. The next morning, the kids arrived at school in a rush, filling the halls like ants scurrying into an anthill. Usually, Arthur hated the feeling of being crushed in a crowd. But today, he welcomed the camouflage. He tried to move as fast as possible. As the kids began to separate, Arthur reached his locker. Whoa, said Buster, stepping in front of him. Alert the fashion police. He circled Arthur slowly. Okay, fess up. Where did you get that weird sweater? Arthur looked down and sighed. He had been hoping to stash the sweater in his locker before anyone got a look, but he hadn't been that lucky. Sweater was one of a kind. It was covered with bright slashes of orange, green, and purple, which crisscrossed the front and back like the tire tracks. Buster took a closer look. I've seen car accidents that look better than this. Arthur shuddered. My Aunt Bonnie got it for me. It was handmade, she said, over many months by workers. Kept the eyes shut. Maybe, but my other one is dirty, so my mom dragged this out of the closet. Buster looked over Arthur's shoulder. Uh-oh. You'd better get it off fast. Here comes Francine. If she sees this eyesore, you'll never hear the end of it. It was already too late. Francine's face had broken into a wide grin. Arthur, that sweater, She looked up to see if Muffy held out her arm and glanced at her watch. You were saying, Francine? Muffy asked. Oh, it's nice, Arthur. Very nice. And colorful. Arthur and Buster looked stunned. Are you feeling all right, Francine? Of course. Then she quickly walked away. Later, as recess, kids were playing baseball. The game was a close one, and Francine's team was up. Arthur and the Brain were already at first and third. Francine was on deck, and it was Buster's turn at the plate. Oh, Buster, can I bat for you? Why? Well, this is a crucial situation. We have a chance to take the lead, so... The boys trailed off as she noticed, Muffy inspecting her watch again. So what? Asked Buster. So I just want to make sure you're up for the challenge. It's a big moment. You look a little tired. Do you feel okay? I'm fine in the pink. Fit as a fiddle. Now, if you will excuse me, he headed for the plate. Good, glad to hear it. Francine called after him. Now go get him. Art and the Brain exchanged a surprised look. I never expected to see Francine turn down the chance to speak her mind. Yes, twice in one day, added Arthur. They looked at each other and scratched their heads. The world was full of surprises. Chapter 4. If either Arthur or the Brain thought that the mystery surrounding Francine's behavior would clear up quickly, they were wrong. In fact, the mystery only grew with each passing day. The next instance occurred over the weekend. Arthur, Buster, and Sue Ellen were playing in the park. when the brain came running up to them. "Follow me," he said, huffing and puffing. "You have to see this." They went back to the school playground. "Take a look around the corner of the building. Just your head, though, to make sure you're not seen." Did what he said. "I can't believe it," said Arthur. "Amazing. Something to tell my grandchildren," Suellen declared. They watched silently as Francine and Muffy practiced street hockey. That in itself was not unusual, but the action and conversation were far from normal. Francine was demonstrating how to change direction with the puck. She glided up and down, keeping a stick in front of her, knocking the puck back and forth. "Okay," she told Muffy, "now you try." Muffy tried her best, but she couldn't hold the turn. The puck went skidding away, and she collided with Francine, knocking her down. "Muffy, can't you do anything?" Francine stopped herself. "Wrong. That was almost perfect." "I'm glad you're taking this so well," said Muffy, "but I need to tell you." She pointed at Francine's leg. Francine looked down. There was a new hole in her pants at the knee. "My good pants," she gasped. "Sorry, it was an accident. Am I still invited over for dinner?" Friends don't let ripped pants come between them. Muffy started to leave, and Francine began kicking the brick wall. Being nice was harder than she had expected. She stopped abruptly when Muffy turned around, so Francine pointed to her watch. "I'll see you at 5:30, she said. "I'll be waiting," said Francine. "You know, there are 4 days, 9 hours, and 27 minutes left. Wanna call the bet off?" Francine shook her head. "Don't worry about me. Just take good care of my watch." Then the other kids turned away. They couldn't hear everything Francine and Muffy had said, but they had heard enough. Weird. Extremely weird. Francine just hasn't been herself lately. "Has anybody else noticed?" Everyone nodded. "Definitely. She actually replaced my football, the one she threw down the sewer last week." "Well, listen to this. She came to my house early yesterday morning with a carton of orange juice. She said it was to replace a glass she drank last month without asking. I said it before. I'll say it again. Weird, 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 weird." Nobody could argue with him. "This is delicious," said Francine, eating another spoonful. Franskis were having dinner. Mr. and Mrs. Fransky sat at opposite ends of the table. Francine and her sister Catherine sat between them. Murphy was there too, sitting next to Francine as her guest. "What is it exactly you find delicious?" Catherine asked. "Oh, the creamed cone, the stew." "I thought you hated cream cones," said Catherine. Francine tried to smile. "Really? I don't remember that. People change," Murphy said brightly. "Happens all the time." Catherine looked around. "Not in this family. It certainly is fancy," said Mr. Fransky. Trying to change the subject, he was just staring at his paper napkin, which Murphy had folded into the shape of a swan. "Oliver," said Mrs. Fransky, "your napkin belongs on your lap." I know," said her husband. "But Murphy did such a great job folding them. I wanted to admire mine." "I can't do that if it's hiding on the table. There's some stew on your chin," said Mrs. Fransky. "Why don't you use a swan to clean it up?" And the meal ended, Mr. Fransky started to clear the dishes from the table. Murphy cleared a throat and raised an eyebrow at Francine. "Father, let me get those for you." Mr. Fransky froze in shock. "What? Who said that?" "I did." Mr. Fransky frowned. "You look like my daughter, Francine, and your voice is similar, but..." "Are you trying to discourage me?" Francine asked. Father rubbed his chin. "I see your point. Well, carry on and keep up the good work." Francine smiled and filled her arms with dishes. Then she carried them into the kitchen. Catherine followed her. "So what's the deal here?" she asked. "Deal?" said Francine. "What deal?" "This sudden change, this transformation," Francine shrugged. "I don't know what you mean," she said, beginning to load the dishwasher. "You're being so helpful, so complimentary. It's out of character." Francis noticed. "You don't know me as well as you think. I'm just trying to be a good host." Catherine laughed. "Really? Well, before you start changing your manners, You might consider working on your wardrobe. You're wearing ripped pants, so what? For your information, your clothes. Just then Murphy came in, folding another swan. Your father asked me to make him a whole little family. She explained so that she looked at Francine. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Took a deep breath. What I was just saying, Catherine, was that your clothes are great. In fact, I wish I had more like them myself. You gotta take me shopping sometime. Catherine looked sharp. Finally, you display some taste and good sense. You don't have thought it possible. Maybe there's a hope for you yet. We'll go next weekend. Frances smiled until Catherine walked out. Then she clenched her fist. Frances was tough, but even she wasn't sure how much more of this could she take. Chapter 6 in the school cafeteria. Oh, the end.